Powering on, welcome to the Eskimo experience. Battery level 120%, firing mode, frosty.
Dr. Jones, checking in for the Eskicouch. Brother Timmy, brother Connor, brother Kaiser's on proxy. We had a big tech support session.
Yep. He's somewhere.
He is coming. Go to Chrome, Kaiser. So.
Hey, we guided you through, fella.
Yeah.
We haven't saved a spot for you, man. That's your spot there, bro. You just got to just down there.
Just beside me. Yep.
Hang on, I can't hear you. Go again. I'll put it up here so everyone can hear.
Oh, stop
it. Go back to your browser, go to Chrome. You should be right now.
I need another whiskey.
I wish I could bring that up so that we could just have that there. But anyway, we are here. We are live. We do know that Kaiser does have technical issues occasionally. So we were sort of trying to hope that would get through, but unfortunately it hasn't. But they should hear you, Kaiser. I've got my phone up to the mic, so they should be able to hear you at least, mate.
It's all right, Kyle. I can see your face, man. I've got Messenger in one corner, our thing going in another corner.
Yep.
And we got.
We're denying the people your beautiful face, eh?
Yeah.
We missed you too, fella.
Yeah, we do miss you, bro. So for those that are just checking in, Kaiser's checking in from here. We've got a little bit of sound. Say hi to the people, man. We were getting Kaiser on to talk all things NXL. So NXL is happening down in Victoria this weekend, which is pretty exciting. They're doing the M800 format down there like they did in Queensland, which is pretty cool. And I believe we'll just get Kai to nod. Only one division down there, Kaiser?
So it's an open division. So we're running it like the Queensland event was run.
Is it coming
which
through?
Is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. It's back to, I don't know, Timmy would remember this. When we first started playing sevens, everyone played everyone. Yeah. It was a 2-day event. And it was just a lot of fun. So we're running it, everyone plays everyone. They had a rookie event last weekend. I wasn't out there. If anyone sees my Instagram, I work 26 hours. There's not even that many hours in the day, but I work 26 hours straight on Fridays at the gym and then bouncing the club. And then I'm usually pretty rooted. Saturday morning, I take Axel to swimming lessons, try to sleep, and then I work all night in the club again. So I didn't get to go to the event last weekend, but they ran a rookie event last weekend, and now we're just running the divisions as one open division or combined. I don't know how you're going to word it, what sort of language we use, but everyone's going to play everyone. It's the M800 format. To tell you the truth, I was not a fan. I didn't think it would work. I usually try to shoot as much paint as I can. However, it worked amazingly in Queensland. I didn't run out of paint once, which I thought I would. I didn't know how. I was totally dubious, to tell you the truth. But it worked. It worked a treat. So hopefully tomorrow goes okay as well. We've got 7 teams. I think we're all going to play each other once and then do finals on Sunday.
Yeah. Look, the more I think about the M800, it's one of those things that as much as you want to shoot someone on the break, you kind of don't want to shoot someone on the break because their pods go back into the pool, don't they? So
No, you're no. What do you mean, Jonesy?
Well, if so if you shoot someone on the break and they haven't shot a ball, now that paint that they had in their pack at the start of that point goes. it goes back in the pool.
I feel you. Yeah. So, you'll find at the end of some matches in the last point, you've got 3 pods left, and they might have 1. You're right, and you can just but that's the game. That's how that's. But I was rocking into Queensland thinking, far out, man. Everyone's playing everyone. We got 4 pods and a loader. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But it absolutely dope. We only lost 1 match in Queensland, and it was to the Fat Boys who 2-0'd us and would have 3-0'd us. But the Fat Boy running for the buzzer stepped out of bounds in the last 5 seconds as he was running for the and I mean, we were just on fire. We had a great lineup. I had Max Farley, Butch, myself, Jake, and Jared. We were a skeleton crew. There was only 5 of us.
Yeah, but look, I looked at your squad. Like, I was looking at the squad in the pictures, and I was like, Jam, you did end up with a solid squad. Like, Jakey Mail Baxter, Jared Baker, Max, and like, it's just a quality lineup. So
well, that's our lineup. When I created Sicarios, I picked a solid crew that is just us, and it's just a bunch of old boys that are mates. I've got a couple of Americans in there as well. Nicky Cuba and Bobby Avilis are on our roster as well, like as solid team members. So when Nicky's not saving the world on his oil rig or being a fireman or whatever, and when Bobby's not running tournaments with Todd and doing what he's doing,
we're making paintballs.
They'll get a chance to play with us, which should be great.
Yeah, it would be good. So,
and then I don't pros anymore. They're just my old friends. So
yeah. That makes them Eskimo brothers, mate.
It does, and I am Eskimos with Bobby multiple times.
We're talking in the paintball sense, man. So
Kai wasn't.
Yeah. I'll just bring up the layout. So the layout they're using down there, 2020 World Cup layout, which is pretty cool. Like we saw how this played at Cup, not last year before, and it was pretty sweet to watch. So yeah, it's going to be good. I hope anyone down there, like, this was only posted like 3 days ago or 4 days ago, something like that. So anyone that's playing that event should have been doing the hard yards and watching a heap of tape from those events. But yeah,
we've stuck a couple of bunkers in there to Tony Pearson's head rep. So Refs Inc. aren't running NXL here anymore.
Are they reffing anywhere then? Like, because
I don't know. They look, they did a great job while they were around. They always had a bit of a boner for me.
Yep.
And a few people. And look, we'll see how we go without them.
Yeah.
I don't really want to comment, to tell you the truth.
Look, I think it'll. Yeah, I think it'll be a good weekend. Put it that way. I think everyone will have a lot of fun, and I think it'll be good. So, I think having that layout, like, that is a pretty sweet layout. I think that'll make it a bit of fun too. Timmy, what do you boys think?
Yeah, to be honest, I've been thinking about whether I run this for the Perth NXL in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
So yeah, keen to hear what the feedback is on it. That said, though, I wouldn't be messing with this field layout. I'd leave it exactly as as is.
Yeah.
But that's still up for debate for my end of things. I've got to sort of check and see how our bunkers are holding up and all the rest. So yeah, no, it's nice to have heard from Kai, like, in person finally, about how good the M800 format worked for them in Queensland, and hopefully will work that well in Victoria this weekend. Like, one thing I did see someone, might have been Scott Aslan, making a comment on the post during the week, worrying about hopper sizes. Like, guys, I'm going to say this right now. Those 20 to 30 balls are going to make 3/8 or 5/5 of no difference whatsoever. So unless someone's running a giant Pinocchio, who gives a shit? Just run your hopper.
Yep.
That wasn't at some bushball Battle of Hoth or whatever it was anyway.
They're a novelty item. Like, if you want to use that legitly, properly in a tournament sense, thanks for carrying a giant target out with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
extra 20 balls, bro.
like it's. I'm sure by the end of the match it will have an impact because obviously you've only got limited paint for the entire match, and that was the one bit I was really skeptical about. I personally think like M800 as pure M800, like every point is fantastic. It's a great idea. I was dubious about how it would go over an entire match, but clearly it's worked pretty well, and it'd be cool to see how that rolls around down to Victoria, how Victorians adapt to it. We're not doing that over here. We're going to stick with just what we've been doing, but over here you're lucky if you pull a pod, let alone going using all 4 pods in a match. So, like,
I don't know what to say about the Victorian paintball scene. It was either form Voltron and make it, or is this going to be 2 days of pissy amounts of teams showing up? Because I don't want to piss anyone off down here and make even less people show up, but fucking Victorians show up. Like, being from Sydney, playing sevens all my life, going to practice on a Sunday and having 40 to 60 people there. After the end of the lockdown, 4 people showed up after 9 months or something. I was driving home just shaking my head going,
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
No, that's the biggest thing, man. It's hard to motivate people to get out if they don't want to get out, and all you're doing is the right thing, is trying to open it up and make it as broad as possible to so many people. It's just up to everyone to jump on that opportunity. I think we all try to do it in each of our states. I know Mike tries to do it with the sevens. I try to do it over here in WA. You've done a great job in Queensland, and both helping the guys out in Queensland. I know that's mainly Wertho's deal, but like those guys do a fantastic job. I know you do a big push of it in Victoria. All we're doing with these tournaments is trying to get as many people out as possible, and all you can do is roll the red carpet out and hope everyone shows up.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said the name Wertho there, because massive shout out to Wertho, because this is Wertho's baby, and Wertho was the brainchild of this, and I was the first to tell Wertho I thought it wasn't going to work, and it did. And Wertho, Jonesy, can you move your camera, bro?
Oh, don't you like looking at my keyboard?
It wasn't your keyboard, mate.
Oh, you're looking at me balls.
This is the brainchild of Wertho, and Wertho and Pip did an amazing job in Queensland. So massive shout out to Wertho and Pip, the Werthos, as I call them.
Yep. Look, just on that, Kaiser, I nearly didn't put pants on for this too.
All right, so next episode.
Oh dear. My phone is going flat though. So, yeah, exactly. You're going to drop out soon, Kaiser, because I've got no charge left on my phone. and I
That's right. I can probably tag in.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go to early anyway. I've got an event to win.
Oof.
It's only M800, mate. You should be right.
Yeah.
I'll be right anyway, mate. I'm fucking Kai Harris.
Oh dear. So all good. So what are your thoughts on the layout, Kaiser? Did you have any say in the layout at all, or was this just whose call was that?
Listen, this is Tony. I've learned about it. I thought we were dropping the field layout on the Monday, and I learned about it when like I said, I work ridiculous hours. I'm a gym manager and a nightclub bouncer, and at stupid o'clock in the morning on whatever, I checked my Facebook, and I saw Tony Pearson had done here's the field layout.
Yeah.
We were dropping the layout on Monday, so no one got to practice on it. But
Yeah.
what would I know? I just work.
That's it.
I was beating up drunk.
Always taking an easy target, I see. So.
I work on chat, mate.
Oh dear.
At 45 years old, I've had to throw more of them than I ever had to throw before. It's fucking incredible.
Funny.
Jeez.
Yeah, very cool.
Lucky I challenge, and I went from 113 kilos to 90.7 this morning.
No, look out.
Oof.
Hey.
You lost your son, mate. How heavy's Axel now?
I'm having a son on Wednesday, just quietly.
I did see that it's not long till the new little one comes along. We've actually just graduated. My young bloke started sleeping on his belly today, so we're
word.
So we're pretty happy about that. I do want to say how I did cut it short last week. We did end up at the hospital last week after the podcast. So it was a pretty long night last week. But yeah, he's all okay. He just had a bit of croup. So, but yeah, he's all okay, which is good.
I'm sending good vibes.
Yeah. Don't wake him up with those vibes, man. Send him calm vibes, okay?
Calm vibes. Yeah, not Kai Harris vibes.
Channeling my cat.
Bye, Kaiser. Bye, Kaiser.
Yeah, he's literally I've also got our messenger chat going on the side, and yeah, he's frozen. So
yeah, has he?
Yeah.
Bye, Kai.
He's gone.
Okay.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Kai Harris.
Yeah.
You can no longer hear Kai Harris, so there we go.
We can no longer see him either.
And he can no longer see my balls. So, which is good. So, a couple of things like there wasn't a lot of news coming out this week, except for in NXL in the US. LJ Woodley's back on a journey. So
yeah, that was probably the big one. In terms of individual team news, that was probably the biggest one. There's a bit more on the political scene, but
yes,
yeah,
sad time to be a Russian Legion fan, but
yeah.
Has there been any confirmation on what's going on for the Russian Legion for like the main US NXL?
As far as I'm aware, they've just said they're coming.
I know Heats Russians are there. Have been there.
Yeah, I have no idea.
My understanding was all systems go and they were going to be there, and then haven't heard anything since all that kicked off.
Well, as we were saying last week, one of the big things was going to be one of their main backers is a Russian bank, and given they've been frozen out of being able to use the international monetary system, that was going to have a bit of an impact.
And your dollars crashed.
Yeah,
to nothing.
Yeah,
rubles are gone to rubles.
Yeah, is it 10 cents or something to dollar or?
Something.
I thought it was like 1 cent or something.
Something. Really bad.
One of the bigger interesting ones, and this will impact you guys directly in New Zealand, Connor, is the impact.
I know exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you were going to mention there. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
No, well, and it's true. Like we were sponsored by Pro Shower in Europe, and they were great guys. Like, I must admit I completely forgot that they are now entirely Dutch owned. Like, they are still produced in Russia, and they are looking to now move their facility as a result of the thing. Like anyone that follows Pro Shower on their social media will see that basically they're giving everyone the heads up that they are going to run out of paint at some point pretty quick. They're looking to shift and move as quick as they can. But also not to completely just boycott them, assuming that they are a Russian product. Because, it's manufactured there at the present second, but they are entirely Dutch owned. So that's kind of one of those sad ones. Like I get the solidarity around the world in terms of people trying to pull any support of anything Russian, like we've seen it with Connor and I being Formula One fans and seeing the impact there.
The funniest thing about that, and Dan Murphy's pulling Russian vodka off the shelves and all this shit. I was listening to Rogan today, and he had I listened to a few of them today, so just bear with me. I'm pretty sure it was Dakota on there. So if you listen to the episode he had with Dakota, I can't remember his last name, but he's like an expert. But they're talking about shit being pulled. And Dakota made the very good point that it's ironic that they're pulling all the, Russian vodka and all that sort of shit, but America's still getting 100 million barrels of oil a day off them, So, and everyone's still happy to drive around in their cars pumping that stuff in. So, it was quite funny. So,
a lot of it, look, it's the same with anything. It's a lot of it symbolic. There you go. Dwayne making the comment now. It's less than 1 cent. Currency was 4 cents during the 90s. Now it's worthless.
Yeah.
So,
Sammy
Ripple
Lucas just coming and saying, crazy.
But and the European Paintball Federation has banned the Russian players as well. So that's an impact, because that is a huge impact on the European paintball scene. I know from when we were playing there, there was a good third of it were Russians or on the border of. Like, obviously there was a lot of guys out of the Ukraine as well. It's huge impact. but obviously this is a pretty big world event, so I think people are, whether it be federations, people, governments, whatever, are doing largely symbolic things at the present second.
And that's it. It's symbolic.
Yeah.
So do we think we'll see them play this year, like the Russians?
I think we'll see them play this event.
Yeah,
I reckon once they get out, they'll probably stay out. You know, like if they get over there, I think they'll probably just fuck it. We're just going to stay.
There was I think I sent it to our chat. There was a paintball troll. Post
yes,
there with,
Iron Man. Yep.
Yeah, Castle getting picked up by the Iron Man.
Yep.
So watch out for Iron Man's latest pickups come round two.
But
I dare say that's their out for the Russian Legion for this event is Die. They have a great relationship together. Like Die will bail them out. Like they as people are still good people and all the rest of the stuff. I mean the Russian players. So what the extended impacts are going to be, we will have to wait and see next weekend. Yeah, next weekend. And then onwards after that. I think this first event, I reckon we'll see them. After that,
it'll be interesting to see what they do. Speaking of Iron Men, they actually announced a roster.
They did.
So
they did.
And Luke Orth quite quickly ripped the shreds out of him.
Savage.
It was good. Like, Lukey, if you do catch this, man, like, I laughed.
Yeah,
that was good.
When I saw it, I lost my shit. I do, I do rate Kato, who played with Thunder. When Thunder and the Bears linked up, I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't there. So it's we'll see what they do. It is another rebuilding phase. They seem to have a lot of rebuilding phases lately.
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, as much as they've got the big backing that they do, their backing can be strict, but I think there's also a lot of expectation that comes with pulling on that shield. So it's for the same thing though. It's a huge opportunity for these guys jumping up. Like different for those who've stepped sideways from another pro team into the Ironman, but for the guys that are going in and earn their spot, you can only take Nick Slowiak on his word. Like he's usually pretty straight up about things. He said everyone's on their spot. I'm kind of keen to see how they show up, and sure, it's going to be a learning curve. Same as what we're going to see for the lower end of the Latin Saints team. Like obviously the top end is going to be the top end, but for the newer guys, it's the same with anyone. Same with the Hurricanes, all the rest. Like all these guys will have enough paintball under their belts. They're going to know what they're doing. It's just going to be how do they adapt to it on the big scene. So
how do they handle it on that day?
I still think the Ironman will end up being let's be generous, bottom third team. In terms of the bottom third of the league, I still think they're probably going to be at the bottom half of that as well. I think it will be an absolute travesty if they face relegation this year, because that will be the last of the old guard. And I don't include Dynasty on that, but they will be the last of the old guard that would phase out. Same as when Aftershock. Went the way of the Dodo as well in the Pro Division. They do face that as a real sort of
it's a huge possibility for it. Yeah.
But
definitely.
Then that's all the more to fight for. And that will be interesting to see how Die adapt to that. Because as much as the Russians are probably their high-end team, and I agree with what Dwayne's just said about not having the aura and the ability to attract the teams like they used to. They used to offer the big contracts. They used to offer the most gear and all that sort of stuff. I'm the same as you, Dwayne. I'm not sure if they tighten the purse strings or not. Like there are other opportunities out there these days. And I think that's worked against Die, because they used to be the big dog around the place that could throw the money around. Then it became GI. Then it became HK. And obviously now Diego.
Diego and HK.
But then and then GI has sort of made moves as well through the JT brand. as well.
Yeah.
They've sort of stepped back the GI side of things, and that's just become more focused on the paint side of stuff. And then they're pushing more the JT brand again to rebuild that. I mean, it makes sense and spending the money they spent to get Dynasty. They already had X Factor, and now bringing Dynasty on as that sort of re-solidified them back in that spot, especially after the whole restructuring last year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what was interesting, looking at so Marcelo posted a couple of videos of those guys out training. They were shooting spires, which I thought was
spires and controls. Yeah.
Yeah. So
mixed bag. There's that's the thing. Like they had the choice. Like they don't have. They're kind of like Heat. Heat don't have a loader sponsor as much as they are the flagship HK team.
I thought they had Virtue as a sponsor.
Yeah,
not for a few. Not since they left Virtue. So they basically at that stage weren't sure what they wanted, so they just left that to their individual players. So everyone had the choice. They could run a rotor, they could run an LTR, they could run also a rotor. Sorry, a TFX. They could run a control, a spire.
Speed.
It didn't matter. Most of the guys just ran with what they still had. And they've just kept a loader or two loaders sort of thing. So I think actually a lot of teams are falling into this sort of category now, at least on that front. Because I think just depends on what you like, I suppose. I haven't had any dramas with my TFX3 at all, just through my use. I know the spires are freaking fantastic. Like I cannot fault them for what they are. The earlier ones,
I'll jump on the Spire bandwagon and say I've killed 2 Spires, like Spire 3s. I actually sent one down to Dwayne, like he was looking for some loaders. I sent one down to Dwayne and said, look, it either needs a board or a motor, man. Start with the cheapest one and work your way up, but you can have it and try and fix it for him. But yeah, I killed 2 Spires in like a year and a half. You know, it was just crazy. So I went
my
back
Spire's
to
fine.
LTR. Yours is?
Yeah, mine's fine. Yep. But I think LTRs are just solid though. Like a lot of people use them just for the fact that
it's the old bang for buck. The best loader I've ever used in an overall scheme was the original rotor. Like if they'd taken what they then did with the R2 in terms of the better quick change lid and the bigger fill, they'd put that on the original rotor, stuff the rest of the beeping and all the rest of the stuff. If they'd just done that, that would have been the perfect loader. I don't care what anyone says. That thing was just indestructible. There was videos of people pouring water through them in car fires and all the rest, and they came out and still working.
That video of, you know, a original rotor on like a GO3 or 3.5 or something, and they've just got, you know, full of paint, hosed down the hopper and shooting water and paint out the end of the gun. It was just, you know, phenomenal. So, but
and they're a simple thing.
And the LTR is, you know, it's great.
Well, and the LTR is a rotor 1. That's the long and short of it. There's no difference. So for the new player out there, like, I'll happily put you straight on HK for the TFX. Like, I shoot it, I love it. It's been fantastic for me. It's really quick and easy to clean, maintain all the rest of the stuff. The rechargeable's dope. But if you want to save some dollars,
for $200, $200, so it's only about 4 million.
Brand new. It's a third of the price of most of the top end loaders. That's where your money should go, at least to start with. Then you can make your choices. The rest of it just becomes about bells and whistles.
And whistles on bells, and whether you have your Bluetooth connecting between your gun and your hopper, so you get a better feed rate. So
that's right. That's the Spy 4
control.
Is it?
Four in the control.
That's right.
So TM40 and CS2, I believe, are the only 2 that do it. So I may be wrong. It's been happened once before. So, but
one of those guns.
That's it.
Yeah.
The CS2's had that Bluetooth module in it since it came out, and there was just, you know, that was always the plan, that it'd be able to link up like that and do shit like that. But they just didn't have the functionality there. And the Spire 3 had the Bluetooth module that you could connect it with the app to adjust all like the feed pressure, recoil sensitivity of the G-force sensor and all that sort of stuff.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah. You had to do it like with a CS2 or a Lux. You had to do it to get 15 balls out of them because.
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to say anyone that plays Sydney with 15 balls would have to play around with it because I know that was one of the big. That was one of the big issues. Anyone running any of the Virtue gear, they had to mess with them to get the rate of fire.
The best I could get mine was 14.8, and that was like my CS2 on uncapped ramp, and the best I could get it to do was 14.8. But there weren't not many people took the time to do it. And a lot of people complain that they, I can only shoot 13 with it, or I can only shoot 12 and a half.
Yep.
But not many people took the time to actually sit there and tune it and get it right. So
So this is why you play semi-pro, and then you don't have to tune your gear.
You lazy bitch. I'm not going to step up because I can't be fucked adjusting me hole.
It works. It works.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, cool, easy. Here we go.
Hey, that's one of the best things about 10.5. Like, it literally, even if you bust a ball in your eyes, doesn't matter. Like, it'll just keep shooting happily.
Yeah, turn the eyes off and just shoot anyway. So
don't even bother, just keep shooting.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much, you get that old crack every now and again. You go, oh, something's up. Oh wait, I actually busted a ball in there.
Yeah. So and that's it. Dwayne just made the same comment. Like the world standard.
Ding ding. Mr. Nichols there with the call. The world standard is the world standard.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, except down under. So,
well, one small part of down under.
Yeah. I think we still play 10.5. Oh, we jump between 12 and 10. Yeah. I know Asia held on to the 12 for years, and then they adjusted to 10.5 as well.
Yeah,
it works. I've said it before, but it takes away a lot of the technical issues that come along with the high rates of fire. Like, as we've said, there are bonuses to the high rates of fire from an entertainment standpoint, from when men were men book, all that crap sort of thing. That's definitely part of it. And you see, like, I know HK made a big call out about it today, Marky, on his stories, talking about how he'd love to see 15 balls a second. And I saw your comment there, Jonesy, about played Super Sevens to see that. And it's true. Like, it is there. It is a draw for some of those guys that used to play that.
Yep.
But
it's not the way forward.
No, look, there's chances for leagues like the Sevens to be able to do it, and that's fine. It's that they are what they are. It's part of their unique set. Let's call it that way.
Yep. Yeah.
But I know for myself, it's not a draw card. It actually is one thing that goes against it for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather it see down to purely players and ability rather than technical ability, like technical issues coming in with guns and stuff.
Yeah.
And because that actually takes it out of the hands of not just the teams, but for the promoters like Mike and John with that. If they can't control what happens to their paint coming in. So if you've got, we've all experienced it, if it's too brittle, too bouncy, all the rest of the stuff through whatever's happened through the shipping process, a certain amount can be done by the players on the day, but only to a point. And then it comes down to luck, partially, in terms of how you've got your gear set up. Definitely some knowledge. If you know how to make and adjust your gear to it, 100% good on you. That's awesome. And that is something people need to learn. But it then opens them up to just things that are out of their control. They will get complaints about things that they can't control themselves, sort of thing. And that's the same. Any promoter around the world has the same thing. So that's where I think it's not a draw for me, but I'd rather see it just down to the players and the teams.
Yeah. And that, look, I swing between it, and I guess that depends on the day, but some days I love it. I think I mentioned last week that, like the last couple of weeks that I'd been out training, I'd been shooting 12.5 because that's what my guns had been set at since the boys in semi used them last year. And I just hadn't been bothered to change it. So, and I'd been enjoying that. Like, I've been enjoying the 12.5. It's been a bit of fun. But that'll change in the next couple of weeks once we can actually get out to the field again, because there's no access to the field at the moment.
I was going to say, that was going to be my next question is how are you all doing with Noah's Flight?
Us, we're fine. where we are, which is, pretty good. We get a lot of rain that builds up at the bottom of our driveway and then it goes. So, it all runs away pretty nicely. But yesterday I had to go to Forbes. So I left here at like 6 o'clock in the morning, drove through torrential rain all the way up over the mountain, back down, got to Lithgow, got out of Lithgow to sort of Portland, which is about a half hour out of Lithgow. And it was just blue skies. Magical day. So drove out to Forbes, 30-degree day in Forbes, turned around, come back, drove back into, same spot, Portland, started raining again, and it pissed down all the way home. So, it was just like this cloud was just over there. Nowhere else was, just the East Coast. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it
has blocked off entrance to the field and all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, so the bridge to Yarramundi's cut, so you can't get across that bridge. The bridge to North Richmond's cut. When I came back into town yesterday, so you come in, you go over the Nepean River at the M4. It was up over its banks and going up onto the roads there, which was pretty full on. So, bit of rain there, and that's a fair way up, like, and it's like it's wide at that point. Like it's not just a river; it's wide. So. Yeah, it's just pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's been bonkers to watch first Queensland and now roll down to you guys to see the amount of rain that has dropped.
Yeah,
and the people it's affecting. Like obviously, seeing some of our Eskimo brothers sort of getting flooded in and dealing with it all and whatnot. It's been bonkers. And thoughts with Mike and John trying to keep that field going when you can't get access to it.
Yeah, I drove over the bypass at Windsor today. And just sort of look down the exit down that you'd normally go down towards the shop. And or you go down there and that road was underwater at the other end of the street that the shop's on. So the shop will be fine where goes up a bit of a rise, but it's sort of that close. It's pretty full on.
Yeah.
So across the road from my work at Riverston is all paddocks over there. But there's a lake out there. Like we've got ocean views at work at the moment, which is pretty cool. So it's pretty full on. A lot of water running around.
Frightening shit, eh?
Yeah.
I was going to say, and we're 2 weeks away from the first. I know they're down to single day events.
Yeah. 2 weeks away to AMS, single day events. So, and they're all going to be on the Sunday. So, there'll be a lot of training happening on the Saturdays. So, Saturday before, we'll be out having a run.
Soft underfoot field's going to be taking some punishment for a good solid 3 weeks by the time it hits that pro weekend.
Well, like it's going to be 3 weeks of people just demolishing it. Pro weekend, hopefully, gets a grader out there and flattens it out and gets rid of the tracks through it, mate. So,
I don't envy them.
No.
I don't envy the situation for them as promoters trying to sort that.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. So, hopefully, they're saying rain for the next week here, but hopefully that's not true. Like before I come on, I was outside and I could see stars, and I haven't seen stars for a week. So, and that's Dwayne just
Dwayne would all, 100%.
Yeah, and it is. It's going to be annihilated. So, and it'll, I'm having flashbacks of round one, 2020.
2020.
So, which was chaos as well.
That was smelly. Yep.
I had doubled Chad George's weight in the first hour.
Yeah.
Those bloody pants he was wearing. He soaked up half the snake by himself.
Yep. But that was
funny. Chad walking off and then Ryan arriving with a fresh pair for him.
Yep. It was good.
He's like, oh, thank God. That was a good laugh.
I remember standing on that field with mud up to my calf. Halfway up my calf, I just sunk in just the slop that was out there. Yep. So, it's going to be the same, I feel. So, it's going to be messy.
It will be what it will be. Teams will adapt, and it'll just potentially slow down whatever layout gets decided upon.
And that's another thing that should be dropped next week. They should be getting it out so the AMS guys can get some training in before.
This is where I go. Adam, please.
Something wild. Yep.
No, of course it'll be something wilder than Adam.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
100%.
Giant things in the middle to try and get the brutal run-throughs like we were discussing last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it'll be. Big centre structures, all that stuff that's going to make for spectacular trades and people getting bunkered that'll look good on the webcast. And
new bunkers or not?
I don't think they do have the upgrade.
Okay.
I don't think so. So
given the way shipping is going around the place, like Jonesy, you would know this better than anyone, given what you do. I would expect to see. I know, like obviously you guys kind of got them in New Zealand, but I wouldn't expect to see those new bunkers in Australia for at least a few months.
October.
I mean, I don't even know if Michael will bother to get them in until well, he might get them in for Masters.
They'll come in for Masters, I'd say.
I know. I'd love to get them in as quick as possible. For us over here in WA, like we are in need of new bunkers. It's been something we've been discussing, but again, we've got a field surface to get sorted, and that is the next cab off the rank straight after that. But then we've got the same drama that everyone's got: your shipping and trying to get things in, and the costs of it all, and all that sort of fun stuff.
In and around. So
you keep chasing things around, and that'll follow.
Yeah. So, Broderick's on the tube. He's just said NXL Sunshine layout would be awesome if they had the new bunkers. I can't remember the last time Mike actually ran an NXL layout.
Well, you raised this last week, Jonesy, about why they didn't, and I thought that was fair because, again, the American pros would be coming in. They were off a month and a half of the same layout, and it was a way of not quite evening in the field, but it was the best thing they could do. And I agree with them making their own layout was the best way of making everyone adapt rather than having
this is how you play it
with all this huge amount of knowledge. Flip side of that, though, is any local Sydney team had a month and a bit, usually, of absolutely destroying a field and knowing exactly where they were going, exactly what they were doing. It was the exact same thing. So, I mean, this comes down to the arguments of how soon do you release layouts and all that sort of stuff. And, I mean, I'm a fan of putting them up for the fields so they get people training on them. But I think ultimately you're going to have people training on them anyway. It would be, as much as it'd be logistically harder for them as the field, it'd be kind of cool to see a different, and this would be a way of managing their surface if they were going to stay with a natural grass surface.
A natural
would be to
surface.
have a different. Well, no, it would be to have a different layout for each division. Like it could be modifications on the same base of it, but that way you wouldn't have a completely flogged out field by the time the event comes around. You would also change things up. So, I mean, no one's going to watch, and this is no disrespect to the novice or the AMS guys, but no one's going to watch novice and AMS and go, "Oh, that's the way the pro weekend's going to play." It's just, it plays differently. It's the same as we play differently at the pro level here in Australia to how it gets played in America. It's chalk and cheese.
100%.
But it would be a way of managing the field destruction as such.
I'm still a firm believer. If you're going to run them 3 weeks in a row, the pro weekend should be first, and I stand by that.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
When Troy did it up in Queensland, I made a high praise for him for doing it, and it's the way it should be. Like you got the highest level of play in Australia get to run on a
the surface while it's at its best.
Yeah, 100%. So
and that's
why I say. But then that's also why I have the argument about that. Ideally, that's what you would do. You'd have your play your pro weekend first, then you would change your layup up, not hugely, but you can change up slightly for the semi-pro weekend, and then same again for novice and AMS. Like you'll still have interest in people every week. Like that's not going to change.
Yep.
But again, though, then that takes away from the training thing, especially now there's only one field.
Yep.
That's probably one of the bigger impacts on the other side.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer for them as operators.
No, not for this round. There's no easy answer. Once they do put their Astro down, that'll sort of take that argument away totally, which will be fine. I worry, like you got people playing on it's going to get divots and tracks in it and shit like that. We've had all this rain. It's going to be, it's sodden. It's going to be wet as there's going to be divots and tracks. It's going to dry out. It's going to, the injury potential is huge. With ankles and shit like that. So
it does sort of lead credence to, I know, like SWAT were originally running a pretty slim roster. Actually, that's the other thing that's dropped.
Cleggy
coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a. I mean, I was stoked to see Alex coming back out and not overly surprised by it, but Cleggy genuinely surprised.
How long are we talking? How long is it? Like 10 years, 9 years,
12, 10, 9 to 10 years. Yeah, no, 2012, 2013. I would have thought.
Yeah,
absolutely. I have no idea who this person is.
Darren Clegg, and hands down, Darren Clegg was one of the best players this country had produced.
Yeah,
right.
And left the game too soon.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Yeah, if you don't know who he is, unfortunately, there's nothing to show who he was.
Well,
and I'll be interested to see who he is now.
Mike, was it Action or Super 7 shared that video of like the flashback to 2012?
Would he be on some of the Dota stuff?
So Cleggy was in that. Yeah, no.
Well,
he would have been
if you go into that video in the Vimeo account, there's other videos in there, and he does make an appearance in there.
Right. Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and like I don't know if Cleggy watches this at all, but like he had back issues, didn't he? That was part of what led him to step away.
Look, I don't know the full deal, whether he had the snake back. However, what I do know, like he was.
Sorry, can you pop up Dwayne's comment because I am laughing.
I was busy finding the video.
Yeah,
Mr. Nichols, everyone, he'll be here every Friday night. I do appreciate his little drop-ins.
Look, the very first time I went down there, Dwayne, and they had the old field down there too, it was lethal, like it was bad. So, righto. So, there's a Vimeo link. It is on Super 7's Paintball series. That's a SWAT Kids vs. Outcast video. Now, what you do, go into there. If you don't have a Vimeo account, join all that sort of shit. And then you can go through and find some of the old SWAT games that are in there, and you'll be able to see Darren Clegg doing what Darren Clegg does, which will be pretty cool for those people that haven't seen it. These are from 2010, round 3, the videos there.
I remember. So Cleggy, I remember at his peak was around 2009, 2010. Like he was arguably, he was definitely top 5 in this country.
Yep.
Like he was a good player.
I didn't get to see him play. It was sort of just before me sort of coming in. But I got told about it, and I got told to go and watch these old videos, and 100% rate him.
Yeah.
He was a staple.
I'm really cool. I'm keen to see how he plays. Like, it's been a long time, and it's cool. I'm pretty stoked to see someone like him come back and want to play again. But it goes against, like you were talking last week about like size of rosters, and it's like a two-day event and not want to overstack it. I think this is where, like, with the field being whatever state it will be by the time that comes around, just given weather and foot traffic, I think that will lead credence to having a bigger roster this event. If you've got a bigger roster, I know it's only a 2-day event. There's 7 teams for this at this stage. I don't think that'll change now from 7 teams.
I think we're 6.
Yeah, 7
So the
teams?
7th team Syndicate hasn't confirmed. Oh, and Mungers.
No, Syndicate are good. Mungers are not. So
So we're either way, 6 teams. It's short. It is what it is. But I still think playing the format that it is, and just the way that we're going to predict the field it is probably going to be by the time the pro weekend comes around, a deeper roster will probably help you out, just in terms of fresh legs, injury management, all that sort of stuff. Tired players will become injured players. That would be my thing. Like, if I was coming into this as a coach, I would be trying to spin my guys through without being crazy about it. I would try and keep everyone as fresh as possible, and I would be managing who gets rolled in what position.
Yep.
Purely from a not even just this one event. That's looking forward to each and every other event going forward for the season.
The fresh bodies play better paintball. It's as simple as that. So, and you know, when you're tired, you don't make good decisions. So yeah. There was something I was going to say. I got nothing.
Super Sevens, NXL.
No.
Russia.
We're close to covering off. Yeah, the Russian thing is one of the big news points for the week. LJ we barely touched on, but yeah, LJ Woodley has been cut from Aftermath. Like, there's no mass word other than like we speculated ourselves amongst our chat about chemistry. No, it was
chemistry?
put out about chemistry and how Mike Kimmon's huge on chemistry, how that is drawn out across the thing. I know Stevie had his views for those that saw that chat publicly that he's a pain in the ass to deal with. But from meeting LJ, he was a super nice dude. Like, but that doesn't stop the chemistry on field not working and maybe not working with Mike's systems or whatever that might be. Hopefully he finds a team. Timmy's Knowles in good form for NXL Victoria. Knowles is in Victoria, so in what form he is in? Yeah. He's running. Like, this is the thing. So for those who don't know, Knowles is living in Melbourne for the next however long. It's supposed to be a couple of months. He's bartending over there. I know he went to Sniper's Den last week. He did send us a Snapchat of that. So he's kicking around. I don't know how his ankle's holding up. He's only just been back running for the last month and a half. So I don't know if he's really going to be wanting to push it too hard. He's going to play paintball, though, while he's in Victoria. He was going to reach out to
play paintball this weekend?
I don't know, honestly. For those that can find him on Snapchat, if you want an entertaining good time, add Christopher Nolder. He will give you a really good entertaining time on his stories. You will go, what the hell is wrong with this kid? You will laugh. You will cry. Yeah, he's worth following.
Now it's just playing for the PBHQ All-Stars.
Yeah, nice. And yeah, okay, fair enough. That's good call. So there you go. Knowles is playing this weekend. Sweet. No, he was good, man. Knowles will crush. He always does. Like, that kid's that kid. He is weird as shit to be around, but I love him all the more for it. He's one of those people, though. It's everyone will go, what the hell is this kid on, or what's he? He's just wide different. I mean, the fact that Dwayne's finding his doppelgangers around the place must say something.
Yeah, that was gold, wasn't it? So, very cool. Very cool.
So yeah.
Anything else we want to add, boys?
No, that's about it. Good luck to everyone playing in Victoria this weekend. Hope you guys have fun. Enjoy the format. I'm really keen to hear how that rolls out from a second. Like, it was cool to hear that it worked in Queensland. I'm really interested to see if it does work in Victoria as well. And again, for those sweating over the size of your bloody hopper, get over it. It's a few seconds worth of shooting. It's going to make 3 out of 5 fists no difference.
Unless you're going to play with the Pinocchio.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're going to get shot because you've got some stupid bloody thing to aim at. Like, think about the logistics on that side. Still, it'll be a learning curve for everyone involved.
And if you're that worried about it, ask nicely if you can use lock lids. So, but so, but then
good luck getting them out.
You are going to have lock
lids. Try getting them out of the packs.
Or opening them.
Yeah. Anything to do with them.
Just on that, I do have a bag of lock lids for sale. There's 22 lock lids in there. And it is in a die pod bag, and true to die form, the pod bag is broken. So if anyone wants to buy them, $50, 21 lock lids in a bag, hit me up.
Yeah, so don't knock the old die lock lids. I'm still lock lids. You can knock them all you want. Sorry, the pod bags. That's all we still use. We still have them left over from like 10 years ago. Yeah, they're still fine. They're pillowcase.
I say it jokingly, like, and I do rag on dye products, but I do wear a dye mask and I do use a dye hopper, and I'm proud to say I've never had a dye gun. So,
I don't think I've ever had dye. I don't think I've had one dye product.
It was definitely
That's crazy.
They were definitely they weren't necessarily the sponsor to have. They were our sponsor for a long time. They made a very premium product and usually at a premium price. Yeah. But for anyone that used them, you kind of you realize that the cost was in there. Like they didn't bust and break as much as everyone sort of harps on about. how the resale on the guns dropped so stupidly quick is beyond me.
Yeah,
other than the fact that
that's
they were in the
mental.
same, but they were at that stage. So with Planet Eclipse, everyone was in the same process of like yearly releases. Just happened to be the die ones dropped the arse end out of them. Like I didn't have a bad die gun.
Yeah.
I still like my Lux more. That was a choice we made as a team. But yeah, but they made a good product. But I honestly don't think, other than the axe, I don't think there's a bad product out there in terms of a gun. But I'm going really.
I used to have an axe. They were not horrible. They were.
They were shocking. Invert minis, axes, same. That whole balloon of GI that made themselves, no, they should just go back into the casting metal and just be melted away into nothing. You're going to buy a product like a good paintball gun. Go to the main manufacturers. Go to DLX. Go to Dyke. Go to Eclipse. Go to Field One.
Yeah. I'll stick with the Lux now. Yeah.
And sorry to Connor, you're a MacDev fan, and Dwayne as well, but I have my bad taste on that. But that said, they did make some decent guns along the way. Just not going to be one that I would recommend to start with.
Look, the good thing about a MacDev, and I learnt this, like I owned a MacDev, and the good thing about it was it taught me how to fix my gun. So, I did gain that knowledge that now I can actually look at a gun and go, yep, this should be doing this. How do I make it work? Which was a good takeaway from owning a MacDev. The joys of now owning a Planet Eclipse and a Lux is I don't have to use that knowledge.
Or simplified if you have to.
Yeah, that's it. All right. I'm going to call that a night. Thank you for everyone that has tuned in and listened to us ramble about shit live. To the people that are watching this in the future or your present, thank you for taking the time to check us out on Spotify or YouTube, or scroll down the page on our Facebook. If you want to support the show, there is a link. It is buymeacoffee.com/Eskicouch. And you can jump on there and buy us a coffee. Help us out. Give us a bit of love. There's the link coming on the bottom of the screen now. How handy. And speaking of links on the bottom, we will give a shout out to the people that do support us. So first one, pbathleteclothing.com. Connor Mann at the bottom of the screen, major sponsor of the Eskimo Brothers Pro Team, and proudly wear his shit every chance I get. If you don't have any of his stuff, go to his website and buy shit. It's good. Paintballshop.com, do give us a little bit of love. Paintballaddiction.com.au gives us a bit of love, and gladiator.com.au gives us a lot of love. So buy their stuff, support them, because they support us and we love their shit. On that note, boys, I am gonna hit the button and we are gonna say goodbye.
See you next week, guys.
Later.
Powering off.